We are gonna blow your frickin' minds. John Negroni, the man behind the popular Pixar single universe theory, has a new theory around Andy's mom. Let's take a look at a picture to help support it. So there's Andy's mother in the background.
Ow, ow.
Weird. And there's young Andy, and he's holding Woody, his favorite non-deputy. How does that go?
You're my favorite deputy.
Yes, Andy is his favorite deputy. Okay, so here's Jessie. If you'll recall in Toy Story 2, she had a very sad arc in which we discover that she was abandoned long ago by a girl who she loved. She loved her, and Sarah McLachlan played, and we all cried. But look at the hat. And here is her, well, Emily. She was the original, I don't want to say owner because it sounds like a pet.
Deputy.
Deputy, sure, of Jessie back in the day. Spot something familiar?
Horseshoes.
No.
The
Lamp.
hat.
Oh, the
That's
hat.
right,
Oh,
Andrew.
the hat.
The hat is the same. It's sort of the same. There was a white band, but as you know, over the decades, sometimes fabric deteriorates and needs to be replaced or just thrown out. So we've never seen Emily's face, but we have seen her hair. It matches the color of Andy's mother's hair. Coincidence?
So,
Is it? Is it?
bottom line here, the theory is that Andy's mom is Emily, the girl who abandoned Jessie previously.
Yes, and she did seem pretty indifferent to Jessie later on when she became part of her household.
So the hat. The hat is the connecting theory. Is
Yeah.
that why
Well,
would
there's other.
why would Andy be wearing Jessie's larger version of the hat
Instead of Woody's
instead of
hat.
Woody's hat?
So we also get to see pictures of Emily's room, which seem to indicate kind of around the 60s, which would make her the right age to be Andy's mother. Is
Things are
your
falling into
mind
place.
fucking
Wheels are turning.
blown?
Well, the other thing that we notice is that in the flashback where we see Jessie being abandoned,
Yes.
she's put in a box with a whole bunch of other stuff like plastic horses and other like kids cowboy related stuff. No hat in the box.
Right? She kept the hat. Maybe she kept a little bit of her childhood inside and passed it to her son like a good mother would.
Maybe.
I mean, the theory goes on to state that Woody was probably owned by Andy's dad, which is
Who
why
seems
Woody was
to-
unaware that he was a collector's item because he's been a toy for so long.
Do we think that this is valid? I mean, all those pieces make sense, but I guess my question for you guys is this something that was intentional on Pixar's part from the very beginning?
I think maybe not from the beginning, but they realized they could do it around the time Toy Story 2 was in development. I think it's kind of an interesting story to make this concurrent bloodline thing happen, and it shows you, it kind of mirrors that other storyline or plot line, I guess, of growing up and growing, losing bits of your childhood and it being sad and them living on their own.
So I think that it probably was intentional, just knowing the way that Pixar started, and that essentially the founders of Pixar sat down over lunch and they came up with the ideas for Toy Story, Bug's Life, Finding Nemo, and WALL-E, I think,
Yeah,
That is an
all at the
epic
same time.
Meal time right there.
So they pretty much planned out their first decade of movies like all in one sitting. So I would not be surprised if this was something that they at least had in the back of their mind when they were making Toy Story.
And I can't imagine that they would give Andy a different hat and then say, oh, wait, we'll just give this hat to another little toy and we'll retcon it into being, like, I feel as though because he had that separate hat from the beginning, that was always the plan, that it would come from another toy who was owned by someone else who then turned out to be his mom.
I would say that probably they knew all along that Woody was part of this larger Woody's Roundup franchise,
Yeah.
and that they were maybe kind of hinting that there was more than just Woody.
Does that make it kind of a redemption story?
I do think there is a redemption when you look at the trilogy overall, because essentially in Toy Story 2 we learn about how Jessie was abandoned once her kid grew up and became too old for her. And so then, of course, the ending of Toy Story 3 shows that even when a kid grows up, that they can pass on their toys to a new kid, and that the toys, get a new life that way. So there is redemption in the story.
Renewed
is
purpose.
so
Exactly.
Sweet. Pixar, you did it again, you bastards. What do you think of the theory behind Andy's mother and Jessie? Do you think it's true? I mean, on purpose? Or do you think it's maybe just kind of a side coincidence that Jon Negroni dreamed up? What do you think also of the United Pixar Universe theory? Let us know what you think below in the comments, and please be sure to subscribe because you're our favorite deputies.